There, welcome to another episode of Super Admins Hangouts. This is where you get to hear inspiring stories from admins and also get to learn career and productivity tips that will help you thrive and excel in your career. My name is Becca and I'm your Hangout hostess. Super Admins Hangout is powered by Office Habit Training and Consulting Limited and supported by the Network of Administrative Professionals of Ghana and beyond. Today, I'm hanging out alone and I'm going to share with you 5 proven ways that have helped me find the email addresses of people using their names. As an admin, there comes a time where you may need to set up a meeting for your executive. And it may happen that this particular person or persons that your executive wants to meet, you may not have their contact in your contact database. So how do you go about it? I found myself in situations like this a lot. And one of such situations that comes to mind is when at one point in my career, an executive that I was supporting asked me to set up meetings with 6 organizations in Burkina Faso. And Burkina Faso, as we know, is outside Ghana. So we didn't have the contact of these organizations in our contact database. There were actually some donors that my executive wanted to visit to find out if we can find some funding for our projects. What makes this scenario or situation even more interesting is that I later got to know my executive had asked the admin or the one in charge of travel, but to book her flight when these meetings have not been confirmed or have not been set up. So how did I go about this? This is what I'm going to share with you in this episode. And these 5 ways are ways that I've used a number of times, countless number of times, to find the email addresses of people using their names. So what is important is for you to know the name of the person. If you know the name, that is great. If you don't know the name, it makes it a bit difficult, but even that you can find your way around. Okay, so let's delve right into the presentation. I'm going to share my screen with you now. So here are the 5 proven ways for finding an email address with a name. Okay, so first of all, if you don't have the email address of the person you want to book an appointment with or invite to a program, you ask your colleagues at work. You never know, maybe somebody have their contacts. And then depending on where the person, the kind of organization the person works in, you can also ask some friends whom you think might know the contacts or might know the email addresses of this particular person. So first of all, start with your colleagues at work. You'll be surprised that somebody at your workplace has even contacted this person before. So ask your colleagues, not just one person. I mean, ask anybody you think might have a contact of that nature. Okay, so you ask your colleagues and then ask your friends that you know, maybe who are even in different organizations that you think may also be working with this particular individual or even the organization that the person works in. Okay, so start with them. Ask your colleagues, ask your friend. If you don't get the email address, then you can move on to the second one, which is Google search. Yes, Google search. If you have the name, just Google the name. And what happens is, once you Google, if the person is visible online, the name might pop up. Okay, and you have and you use it by, you should be very careful when you are using the person's name to search, because you might find similar names coming up. Okay, so you have to be very mindful and be sure that you have the right name. So when you Google search, it's possible the name might pop up, and then you may be directed to either LinkedIn or a company website. If the person has his name and contact details on the website of the company that he or she works in, it will pop up, it will show. And I've seen a lot of these in some of the searches that I have done before. Sometimes when you Google the person's name, if the person's name is on the website, especially if the person is the chief executive officer or is a high profile person in the organization, you will find their names popping up. Okay, so if you know the organization, the name of the organization, you can just go directly to their website and go and see if the person's contact details are available there. Okay, usually when you go to the company website, there's a section that talks about the company and then the management. Okay, so if the person is occupying a managerial role, usually you see the photos and then the profiles of those in the management position. If this person is part of the management position, if this person is part of those in management position, then you might see their contact address. I've come across some like that. Especially the UN organizations. When you go to their website, you find the email addresses, the contact details of the country reps in this UN agencies. Yes. So, and then there are other companies too that you might find this information there, you know. So it's either you Google search the person's name, or you go directly to the person's organization or company website. Then another thing you can also look out for is going on LinkedIn. Yes, going on LinkedIn. Once you go on LinkedIn, you search. Google has a search. LinkedIn has a search engine as well, where you can search for the person using the name. Okay, and you need to be also cautious because there may be other people with similar names. So once you search, you should make sure that the person is working in the organization that you know the person works in. Okay. And what happens on LinkedIn is that you don't usually get the email address there if you've not connected with the person. So what you do is to connect with the person. And when connecting, you should be careful not just to hit the connect button. You need to add a note, okay? And you also have to make sure that you have a very good profile, because before the person connects with you, they will go and check out your profile to see who you are. And if you don't have a good profile, the person might not mind you. So you have to, if you want to use LinkedIn, then you have to really work on your profile too. And then once you try to connect with the person, you send a connection request, please add a note and explain why you want to connect with that person. There was one time that I had to connect with somebody on LinkedIn because I needed the person's email address. My executive had asked me to give that person, I think, a book that they had written together. And when she asked me to do that, I didn't ask of the person's contact address. I assume that we might have, if the organization has worked with that person before, then it's possible we had the contacts or the email address in our database. I went to search in our database and I realized we didn't have the email address. And I found it difficult, I don't know, for some reason, to go back to my executive to tell her that I didn't have that person's email address. It was something that I could have easily asked her, and I'm sure maybe she would have had it. But for me, it was embarrassing because if it's something that, if it's somebody that we had worked with before, we should have the person's email address in our contact database. And at that time, I was the one managing the contact database. So I found it embarrassing going to my executive to actually ask her for the contact. And I don't know, I just presume that she might say, go and search in the contact database. It should be there. So to avoid all that, I searched for the person on LinkedIn, and luckily he was there. So I sent him a connection request, and then I added a note explaining why I wanted to connect with him. So I told him I had a book for him, a book that he co-authored, and I wanted to give him a copy, and that I needed to get in touch with him. I needed his address to mail the book to. And I think within that same day, he got back to me. He accepted my connection request. Once the person accepts your connection request, then you'll be able to find the person's email address on LinkedIn. Okay, so he accepted, and then he gave me his address, his mailing address, and I was able to mail the book to him. Number 3 is your network. Okay, and by your network, I mean groups, social media groups that you are in. Okay, for example, if you are in a professional WhatsApp group, you can put a post there and let them find out if somebody in that group knows the email address of the person whose email address you are looking for. Okay, and it's easier when it's a professional group. Okay, so if you're an admin and you are not in the professional group, please join one because it helps so much. I have been able to get a lot of email addresses from the admin group that I'm in. Okay, so you can't afford not to be part of a network or an association. It's easier once you ask, somebody will definitely respond, and I've gotten a lot of responses as a result of this, as a result of me being part of a professional group. And if you are in Ghana, I recommend that you join the Network of Administrative Professionals of Ghana, NBYOUNG. It's a vibrant community of administrative professionals, and once you are in the group, you can ask any questions and people will answer you. If you're having any challenges at work, once you put your whatever challenge you are facing in the group, somebody will respond and you'll get answers to your questions or the challenges that you are facing at work. Okay, so I'm going to put the link to our Facebook group in the description of the video so that you can join the group. We are very vibrant on our WhatsApp group. Once you join the Facebook group, we will add you to the WhatsApp group too. Okay, so there are other professional networks that are also on Facebook that you can join. I have joined a number of them, and Usually, if it is within your locality, then it becomes easy when you need help with certain things. Okay, so the Network of Administrative Professionals of Ghana, which is popularly known as the Resilient and Effective Administrative Professionals. Yes, that is the name that we are known for. Okay, the Network of Administrative Professionals of Ghana is our new name. So once you join this group and you need a contact, you just write in the Facebook group or in the WhatsApp group, just say, oh, who knows the contact of this person? You just mention the person's name. And definitely, because we are over 100 people on that platform, somebody will definitely respond. Number 4 is call the front desk. Okay, so if you've tried asking your colleagues and friends and you're not getting the email address, if you've searched the company website, you've tried LinkedIn and it's not working, you've Google search and still you are not getting any results. And the thing about Google search is that sometimes you don't get the person directly, but you might get the name of somebody who works with the person. Okay, so if you can get the contact of that person, you can call or email that person that, oh, I want to get in contact with this person, the person that you're actually looking for. And the person might be able to help you. I remember there was one situation where I was looking for the contact of a particular person. And when I Googled, he sent me to a website. And on that website, I saw the number of somebody on the website. I didn't see the email address or the phone number of the person I was actually looking for, but I saw the phone number of somebody on that website. So I called the person and told the person that I need the email address of this person or even the contact number. And I explained to the person the reason why I needed that information. And fortunately for me, she helped me get in contact with the person I was actually looking for. So that is another way of using Google search. You might not get the person you are looking for directly, but you might come across somebody who can help you get to who you are, the actual person you are looking for. So when you try all this and it's not working, and you know the organization in which the person works, just call the company. You can find the contact number of that company on their website. It will be easy for you to find the number. Just call the front desk, explain why you need the contact of the person that you are looking for. If they are not willing to give it to you, they might give you a generic email address you can send your meeting request to or event invitation to. Okay, and then you follow up to ensure that the person actually gets it. The person you are looking for actually gets the letter or the email that you are sending across. Okay, so if you try all this, try number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and it's not working, then we go to number 5. This is where we try to do some guesswork, And what is interesting about this guesswork is that you need to be very, very strategic about this, if I should put it that way. So what you do with this guessing is that, most companies have a way of writing their email addresses. Okay, so with some company, it's the person's name, like first name. If I should use myself as an example, so it will be Rebecca. So my first name is Rebecca. Then there'll be a dot. And then the surname. So mine will be Rebecca.Afo. Okay, Rebecca.Afo. Then you have your usual at the company's name.com. Okay. So once you see that that is the format that the company uses, if you have the full name of the person that you are looking for, you just do it that way. Okay. And what I do is that when I go to the company's website and I see the way their email address is structured, if I'm lucky to come across the email address of somebody who works in the organization, and I know the full name of the person that whose email address I'm looking for, I just formulate that email address and give it a try to see if it will work. Okay, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So that is another way of trying to get that email address. Okay, so give it a try. And some will use the first letter of the first name. So Rebecca, it will be r.afo, then at the company's name.com. Okay, so these are the 5 ways that have helped me find the email addresses of contacts that I don't have in my database. Okay, and they've been very helpful to me, and I believe they are going to be helpful to you. So this brings me to the end of today's episode. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, I would like to hear from you. Okay, so let me hear from you. What is your take home? What did you learn? Did you learn something new? Are these 5 ways things that you know already? Or are there other ways of finding email addresses of people using their names that you know of? Share it with me. Comment, like, okay? Let's make this interactive. And if you want to get in contact with me directly to ask me more questions, I'm going to leave my contact details in the description of this video. Okay, don't let this be a monologue. I want it to be as interactive as possible. So give me your feedback. Let me know what you learned. If you learned something new, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. I'll be happy to know that you know all this already. And if you know of other ways, please share. Okay, let's all learn together. Okay, so until I come your way in another episode, bye bye for now. Bye.